Was there really any doubt that Activision wasn't going to listen to the highly influential internet trolls who have been beating down their virtual door for the past 3 years, clamoring for Call of Duty to go back to its roots? Its traditional, phantasmic roots, where all the fun happens, on the bloody battlefields of World War II. Hell, if internet trolls can shift an entire election, convincing Activision that an entire generation of trigger-happy, ADHD-riddled fuckboys will buy a game based on a war their great-grandfather died in should be a piece of dehydrated cake packed neatly into an MRE.
Here we go!
No, you fucking cuck!
Peggy 18.
Hey, listen, we're not complaining about.
Oh, hey, Elliot.
Oh, hey, I'm Elliot.
Elliot's in New York. See, we trade sometimes.
Shibby
Sometimes
guy.
he goes. Oh, yeah, it's Shibby number 2.
But Shibby. Hey, listen, we're not complaining, by the way. We're both middle-aged white men. This is essentially the only game style that could be found stitched in our DNA by now. So we're all for taking things back to World War II. It's certainly more interesting than World War I because even though Battlefield did a great job with that game, we don't really have the same kind of connection with it because of a few reasons. It happened before film blew up, so we don't have 50,000 documentaries to continuously watch on Netflix and the History Channel when we're bored.
That's what I do. Nazi
Boom.
mega weapons.
No. What's up, history?
Yeah.
And then when all the countries said, fuck this, why the hell are we doing this? It makes no sense.
It was actually the greatest war because of the way it ended. Hey, why are we fighting? Oh, we should stop.
Also because we were on the winning side.
World
if
War
you were-
I?
Oh, I thought you were talking about World War II.
Well, we were on the winning side of World War I because we just didn't fuck around with it.
We were just like,
We had our own problem.
yeah,
I saw Man in the High Castle. We lost.
That's World War II still.
that is also a documentary.
Anyways, yes, World War II, on the other hand, since everyone is very confused now, that ended with Hitler blowing his brains out and us dropping 2 atomic bombs on Japan. Kids love that shit. Although, so far we haven't seen any indication that the latest Call of Duty will include anything on the Japanese front, but there's always DLC, so you never know. Though at this point, they probably would feel a little bit bad about having players kill Asian people and vice versa, despite its historical accuracy. And speaking of which, here's another thing that makes this kind of really awkward when dealing with the creation of a game based on a war that actually happened with people who fought in it still alive.
You see, it was different times back then. No, not back in the 40s, back in the early to mid 2000s.
A wonderful time.
Wow. Games still weren't realistic enough to elicit a strong emotional response from people unless it was stupid shit, like Mortal Kombat, or Grand Theft Auto, or some shit you kids play.
In that case, parents did get upset.
They did get upset. I remember Joe
I was not allowed
Lieberman.
to play.
Joe Lieberman was like, the fatalities are bad. Now it's like, holy shit, I'm gonna be playing one of the biggest games of the year from a huge company, and it's glorifying one of the most important and deadliest wars in modern history. It's most likely one of the reasons that the franchise either made a fantasy version of the Cold War or just went straight up sci-fi with the franchise. It's a lot easier to sell a game that's not based on actual reality.
Yeah, now, again, having said that, they shouldn't shy away from it because gamers don't care, and World War II was so long ago. I did find myself wondering how my girlfriend's dad, who I play these types of games with on a near daily basis, would feel about playing a hyper-realistic version of the Vietnam War, considering he fought in Vietnam for years and watched plenty of his friends and servicemen die. He was actually a medic, so they died in his hands multiple times. Now, he never played Battlefield Bad Company 2 Vietnam, but it's a bit dated now. It wouldn't seem as realistic. It's definitely a moral question that the developers had to ask themselves at some point. But another question that they had to ask for sure is if there was enough diversity. And no matter how they answered that in the game, and no matter what the historical accuracy related to it was, they're gonna get critiqued for it.
Social justice bullshit.
Yeah.
They dealt with it in a great way because historically, everyone was fucking involved in World War II.
Yes.
Men and women of all races and religions were affected by the war, and most of them were directly involved. Still, even showing off this fact in a cinematic trailer isn't enough for some outlets. Like Polygon, who posted this now deleted tweet with a link to their article, Call of Duty World War II checks all the diversity boxes, but it's still the story of a white man's war. And by the way, this article and tweet were posted a few hours after a simple teaser trailer made up of random cinematics was shown alongside a discussion from the developers.
But they have all the answers, and they know exactly how the game's gonna be.
Hey, we got this. We know.
Yeah, well, in the article, they described the keynote as follows, starting with a quote from Michael Condrey. "We also fold in a story of diverse and global characters," Condrey said of the cast of characters after talking about its largely American male cast.
Boo.
He proceeded to talk about a British male soldier.
Boo.
Schofield followed this with a reference to the game's female lead, Rousseau, the powerful female leader of the French resistance, he said, as if reading from a cue card. Powerful female. We get it.
We're covering all our bases here.
Yeah.
And listen, we know all you guys know that we here at T.U.G.S are just meek, timid, ultra-liberal cucks. But even we think this is kind of reaching, especially considering they are basing all this solely off a cinematic trailer and keynote. They even say later in the article that they're not sure whether or not the characters are playable. Yow! We're willing to bet they are.
Yes.
But back in the main point about this whole fucking thing, will kids buy this game even though they've been groomed for the past 5 years to love nothing more than jetpacks, supply drops, 360 no scopes, pop, 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 and mech suits? Honestly, we have no idea, but us older millennials will most likely be lining up to buy a Call of Duty title for the first time in years to make up some of the difference.
Yeah. We will buy the game.
I will give you money that I got for my birthday and a card from my grandma.
I will say that my girlfriend's dad, who was a Vietnam vet, he is very excited that it's going back to World War II.
That's interesting. I remember I had an uncle who was in World War II, and I was like, oh, maybe like Band of Brothers. And I showed him that in like 10 minutes, and he's like, can we turn this off?
Oh no, I had friends that served in Operation Iraqi Freedom who came back and could not play Modern Warfare because, well,
It's modern warfare.
yeah. So I mean, it's a moral quandary when you're dealing with stuff like this.
Yeah, but fucking kudos to him who's just like, what are we playing next? Back to World War II.
Yeah. Anyways, something we can't, we'll line up for the Call of Duty, but something that we can't imagine anyone lining up for in the future is yet another hardware release from, yeah, you guessed it, Nintendo.
Nintendo.
And it's something that, again, no one asked for. Ta-da! Here's the Nintendo 2DS XL. Why?
What?
Why? Who the fuck knows? But there it is. Are they gonna continue creating enough games for the DS to even make people care about picking this up? Apparently, I'm not really sure.
Have they given a good enough reason for us to buy this instead of a 3DS XL for the same price off eBay? Absolutely not.
Did they forget that the price of two of these things, people could go get a Nintendo Switch instead, which, hey, surprise, it's also portable and infinitely more powerful. I'm not sure, and this confusion is starting to scare me.
It's got Zelda.
I'm sure it does have a Zelda on it.
No, but the Switch has Zelda.
Yeah, well, the 2DS probably has one too.
Well, I guess the point really is that it's the cheapest option for Nintendo Portable, though like we said, a quick eBay search has the cure for what ails you. Just the headline from Ars Technica says it all. Nintendo 2DS XL, a handheld for gamers who can't afford a Switch because you're poor. And I guess we can't really slight them. The DS is a fine product for what it does. As long as I can keep supporting it, this investment isn't really terrible, especially considering the backlog of games you have for it. There's tons. Did anyone ever use the 3D capabilities on the 3DS anyway? Yeah, if you want to get beat up.
Hey, dork.
Hey, what is that? Hey, look at me, Zelda's coming at me. It always seemed like a stupid gimmick that a majority of people would immediately turn off after a few minutes anyway. So either way, this thing hits stores on July 28th, so mark your paper calendar, circle it. In case you haven't
Go
bought
dig a
Smash.
calendar from 10 years ago out of the trash.
Mom, I
and
need a
circle it.
calendar. Did
Wow,
spend
first
your
you want a
birthday
Switch,
money?
then you want a 2DS, then you want a calendar. I'm not made of money.
Oh boy, well.
Just look up at the sun and the stars. That's how we used to do it when me and your dad were kids.
Yeah.
Grandma taught me. Well, time to call Grandma on July 28th and get the money. If you haven't bought a Switch by then, you need something to mobily game on aside from your phone. Oh, that's right, you have a phone and you'll have
Yeah.
a DS and a Switch.
Anyways, it's time to round this T.U.G.S out with some good news. Because we're all about positivity here on T.U.G.S, the totally uninformed good feelings show.
Oh, I like that.
I'll be the first to admit that I'm a fan of car racing games even when they're boring as shit. Because, for whatever reason, I enjoy things like that. Kill me. For the most part, I've always loved the Forza series and was obviously pretty excited when the latest Forza Horizon was coming out late last year. I bought it, I played it for a few days, and then I got extremely bored with it. There just wasn't enough to keep me coming back. But they've just announced some DLC that literally made me re-download the game last night in anticipation.
taking a pretty obvious note from Trackmania, that's the crazy bullshit.
Yeah.
Forza has thrown caution to the wind, partnered with Hot Wheels.
Yes.
Woo! Them wheels are hot.
Yes.
And it's coming out with a Hot Wheels DLC where you can drive their batshit insane tracks with the next-gen graphics for the Forza series.
Yes.
Look, that might not excite some of you, but we'll be taking this excitement where we can get it in between this and the Call of Duty World War II trailer. And we've had a pretty okay week.
Yeah, it's been a pretty good
Are we
week.
supposed to dislike that one or no?
Just like what? The game?
Trailer.
What? Oh, the
Call of Duty.
yeah. I mean, it's fine. I hate. My biggest pet peeve with that shit is it's like it's all in-game footage, and it's like, yeah, but it's an in-game cinematic. Like, I get you're using the engine to do it, but it's not a representative of what the game's gonna be like when you play only the multiplayer. Like, yeah, okay. Oh wow, Kevin Spacey looks great in this Call of Duty trailer, but
Can I do anything here? No.
Yeah.
Sit there. Hold on, I have to pay. Press F to
Respects.
pay for my 3DS, 2S, DS minus.
anyways, yeah, so the trailer it's whatever. It's World War II. I'll wait for the gameplay. Anyways, there's someone else in the room who's having a pretty damn good gaming week as well, because his favorite company to stroke the balls of has just released a massive update to fill its massive sack. And it's to one of his favorite games. Chibi, how does it feel to not be suffering from clinical depression this week?
Feels great.
Okay.
Feels great, Bob. About there?
Chibi.
Yeah? Good?
Yeah.
All right. T.U.G.S boys and T.U.G.S girls, I am back once again by unpopular demand to review a game that basically came out 3 years ago. A game that I've already reviewed once, and now for the second time. It's ethical, trust me. A title in the MOBA genre. Multiplayer online battle arena that you may have heard about, or you may be a console pleb or filthy Nintendo fanboy and have not heard about it. The MOBA genre,
Chibi fans eat ass.
we'll get there, is the biggest thing in the world. Or in that battle royale bullshit that everyone's so jacked up about. Look, I understand that you want to reenact the Hunger Games to try and get closer to your fappening cream dream J-Law, but she's just not that into you. This week, I'm reviewing the Heroes of the Storm 2.0 update.
The box is backwards.
My Ragnaros by Fiber be purged. But Chibi! Heroes of the Storm is for fucking noobs. League of Legends is dumb, smite smells, and everyone should just play Dota 2. Whoa, viewer. Take a step back and realize that not everyone still is 15, with unlimited time to fuck around in a match that your teammates will most likely lose for you in 20 minutes if you surrender, or 45 minutes. Sadly, most of the time, everyone either feeds, AFKs, or is just toxic in all chat, and that ruins your experience. Your game time is ruined. You don't want to sit around in lane and farm minions for 20 minutes so you can buy items to farm minions better. I say, enough. Heroes of the Storm takes all that bullshit out. An experience I can actually enjoy because I have all my abilities. Other than your heroic or ultimate for you noobs who don't know the lingo, from the start of the match, there's no need to buy items, return to fountain, or healing potions or wards. No need to always play the same lame-ass map with the same lame-ass objectives with the same fucking champion every fucking lane. It should be criminal.
Woo! Boo. Woo!
Okay. Okay. That more people do not give Heroes of the Storm a try because having played all these MOBAs, it's one of the best. Now, with the 2.0 update, there is no better time to get into the game if you are sick of all the bullshit from every other MOBA. That was Marble Mouth right there. From every other MOBA out there, and you want to try the MOBA experience for the first time. Even Ricky plays.
Yep,
And that's saying something.
it is.
I know, viewer, you're probably slamming your face into the keyboard for how the game is for casuals, for honor. When actually, when actually it's for everyone or anyone who wants to have fun. There are team fights within the first minute, interesting objectives to fight over across all the different maps in the game, mounts you can ride to get across the map faster, no farming minions for fucking hours. It's simply a purified version of the MOBA experience without all the fucking bullshit. It's awesome.
With characters I know and love.
That's right. That's from Rick. Instead of playing with some made-up pirate girl with her tits out or some fairy lightning god, you get to play as the devil himself, Diablo, the Lord of Terror.
And you get to put him on a tiny little unicorn that'll strut him around the map.
Diablo is real, mind you.
Or you can put him on like a motorcycle. It looks cute too. Basically anything he rides is great because he's gigantic.
Yes. The 2.0 update is probably the most generous thing I have seen Blizzard do in any of their games. 1 minute, please. I have to hit certain talking points.
Okay.
Sorry.
This is what epics look like.
All right. First talking point hit. Just from playing the game,
Hashtag
I literally got a couple $100 worth of skins and mounts. Did you have any crates, Ricky?
I sure did, and I got the free pack of 20 heroes as well.
Bam.
Yeah.
Stuff others may have actually paid for through the in-game shop. Boom, free. Through loot chests I earned just from playing previously. Overall, with the bundle of heroes available within the 2.0 update, there is no better time to check out HOTS. With the average game time of 20 minutes, no all chat bullshit toxicity,
Talk about Brawl. Talk about Brawl.
That's a fun game mode, yeah.
It's like less than 10 minutes. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, it's good stuff. No bullshit item buying and needing to follow pro builds. Team fights from the start of the game. Multiple maps and modes, as Rick just talked about. This game is the real deal, with real company backing behind it. Hello, games.
It's actually Blizzard that did this one.
Oh. Thank you, Blizzard, for constantly setting the gold standard for the industry.
Industry.
2 out of 2.
2 out of 2? Oh, because of the update. Okay.
Time for my Fire Festival trip.
Okay. Have fun in the Bahamas. Yeah, no, I like it. I like it. It's a great game. It's Brawl's fun because it gives you certain rules that you have to do. The other games, it's whatever, but opening loot crates is fun. They give you sprays now. Anyways, I enjoy it. Yeah, well, you read this part because I want to read the review this week. Elliot always gets to read it.
All right.
Yeah.
So, since Blizzard doesn't really sell too many physical copies of games these days, we look for something recent on Amazon and settled on a great review for this console version of Diablo 3. This review comes to us from Kindle customer who had this to say about Diablo 3 for the PS4. Hit it.
Extremely disappointing. This is another simplistic and failed attempt at creating a real RPG game in the great tradition of the Elder Scrolls and Fallout series. No ability to change camera angle? I hate those scampering characters that have become so popular these days. Would not recommend this at all. Waste of money. If I wanted to engage scampering little critters and upward camera angle, I will go watch grasshoppers in our pasture.
You have a pasture and a Kindle and could afford Diablo for your PS4
Nah, I'm gonna go out on the fields instead.
and run around. Don't step on any landmines.
I will fight the grasshoppers. I will battle the locusts.
I eat them one at a time.
Ugh. Anyways, if you want to see what just the worst possible round of Cards Against Humanity could ever look like, be sure to check out our recent stream that is just 90 minutes of the most painful comedy
Wrong.
you'll ever see.
88 minutes of the most painful comedy.
It's-
until Shibby talks about a certain actor. And
Oh,
then,
yeah.
and then there.
That was funny.
It's the lone bright spot. I think Luke Garvey pulled that out.
Make sure to cut that part for whenever we do another best of. Just that one part where Shibby can't pronounce it.
It was.
He's
the
a
whole
gift.
table was in tears.
He's a gift.
in literal tears.
So check that out. Watch our other streams over here, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Hopefully with more Elliot.
Duh. I'm Tug's boy. I'm Elliot. I couldn't be here.